We know that the 2023 draft class was stacked as hell, and the rookie class is reflecting that. Obviously at the top, but there have been so many guys who've made an impact, and we're gonna highlight three of these underrated, lesser talked about rookies. The first one is a little less, a little more in Keontae George, but not your like Wemby, Chet, or Asar, or even like Cason Wallace, Jaime Jaquez, Marcus Sasser, Lively, guys who get talked about a bunch who deserve their own videos at some point. Some lower level guys, lower minutes maybe, or in the case of Keontae, has fully taken over as the starting point guard of this Utah Jazz team. He took the reins remarkably fast, and it's in large part because of passes like this. He is a very good passer, quick, decisive jab, and a beautiful lefty live dribble, accurate delivery passer. He's not like he was never like an elite passer like Trey, Luca level, manipulating, creating off the dribble, but he was a very good passer, especially in off ball actions. And Will Hardy is, oh my god, he is a brilliant offensive guy, and the Jazz offense is art. Like I love the like Atlanta Trey style double drags. Like this used to be Trey Young all the time in Atlanta, setting up these double drags with John Collins, or double drag pop into John Collins, perfectly placed pass. His accuracy has been pretty solid, which is an issue for a decent amount of rookie playmakers. But Keontae's been good. He has the ability to like audible here in midair, very decisive attacking off the catch. He doesn't like wait very often or back up. He goes, he makes a decision, and he sticks to it. And mostly his decisions have been solid, I would say. Some bad spots, which we'll get to, but not really, as he does a good job seeing Caruso slide this way and kicking it to Olynyk, who ends up getting a layup on his own. This is high IQ stuff, very patient, poised, and a lot of times the Jazz just have him like running point guard for their offense, or just actually running point guard, or acting more like a game manager quarterback, which is a valuable thing. They have Clarkson screening for Laurie here, and Keontae is able to perfectly place this right to where only Laurie can get it. It's not like crazy creation, and it's within the scheme, but they needed a scheme operator. Like Sexton wasn't doing it. Taylor Horton Tucker was way too inconsistent. Clarkson's more of a scoring type, anyways. But they needed a guy like Keontae who was going to be consistent at recognizing the stuff and the space that his offense creates. We won't talk about this Yusuf Nurkic defense and hitting them. And he's been doing that really, really well. And I appreciate that a lot. And I think it shows a lot about his maturity and his level of poise at this stage in his career already, which is quite good. And the scoring is interesting too. It's not super efficient or great, which is common for most rookies, but there are some good flashes in being patient here with the screen and hitting a little floater. He is a floaters guy. He doesn't get to the rim a ton unimpeded, but again, in Will Hardy's offense, where it is in such a good spot for Keontae to attack off of the catch, we have pre-screen motion installed. This little like Agbaji rub to get sharp off of him is all Keontae needs to get downhill and hit a little mid-range pull-up type jumper. He isn't the best at getting that separation himself, but he's in a position in this Will Hardy offense where he can run off of like a down screen and get into floater range and hit a shot that he's really comfortable at without having to struggle through the creation process. And that is not something he did so much at Baylor, and it's been really nice to see Hardy quickly incorporate Keontae's really impressive skills into his offense. And then there are like plays like this where he just like blew by Devin Booker. And I remember watching this live. He was so ridiculous in this game. And this Jazz court is beautiful. Let me know what you think about the courts. I think overall I'd say I like them, but they should stop making them slippery. But yeah, Keontae just like blew by Booker. Great like burst and flexibility here to get low, explode here, and Booker's able to like recover midair, but at that point Keontae's got great momentum and he's not stopping him at that point. And it's really, really good stuff to see. Keontae's not shooting very well, but I'm not really worried about him as a shooter. A lot of rookie high usage ball handlers have this issue, and he's always been a versatile shooter off ball, off the dribble. Shooting indicators were great in college, so I'm not particularly worried. It's been really cool to see him take over the Jazz offense as their point guard, distributing to all of their awesome offensive threats, and Laurie and Clarkson and Collins and everyone else they have. He's fit in really well, and of course there are issues defensively and with efficiency and stuff, but he looks really good, and I'm excited to see how he continues to grow and progress and mature into this offense, as they seem like they're going to keep trusting him more as well. Again, he's not like the best separator, especially against, like, Keegan Murray's improved a lot as a defender this year. He struggles to get by him, turns the ball over there as well. So those are the kind of plays that he's going to have to improve, and that's the main area. I think the creation, what can he do without a screen, without the flow of offense, will like ultimately determine his ceiling. But right now in this Jazz offense, it kind of doesn't matter very much. But anyways, next guy. These are actual, like, a lot lower minutes guys. Andre Jackson Jr., who has been so cool for the Bucks in his limited minutes, has started getting real rotation minutes the last like 4 or 5 games, and he is an incredible connective piece transition player, especially. Look at this. He runs the floor hard to the middle, makes a spinning pass to AJ Green in the corner, the best AJ Green in the history of sports, of course, in the corner. He's a really great off-ball player, just so smart, cuts into space, recognizes that Brook Lopez is wide open. The off-ball feel was incredible in college. He was an elite team defender, spatial awareness, all that good stuff, all the little things. He is like a little things guy as much as you can be, along with being an insane athlete, which is great. But beautiful, perfect transition pass. He injects a lot of life and athleticism into a Bucks team that, outside of Giannis, is like really missing in athleticism, especially on the wings with like Pat Connaughton and Chris Middleton at this stage, Malik Beasley, Bobby Portis. Those guys, you're definitely losing quite a bit. Good patient bounce there. And Jackson, despite his total inability to score, is honestly been really solid in the minutes that he's played, and he's been kind of willing to shoot. I think he's barely taken any threes this year, but he is taking like step back threes off the dribble. He doesn't look totally terrified to score, and Jackson has like perfected the impacting the game without shooting at all, because he's such a great screener and passer and creating screens with his own body as a passer. But it's good to see him like at least try these threes. But there are plays like this where defenses can really just back off you and play the pass where he doesn't even look at the rim here. He's not even pretending he's going to shoot. Ends up turning the ball over because Mark Williams has no reason to. And of course, he ends up getting a deflection because his defense is so freaky, and we'll get to that in a short moment. The little things, as I said, offensive rebounds, so good, ball tracking, and defensively, he is a menace. And it is not common that like rookies are real impact defenders, but I think especially in the context of this Bucks team, which is just literally like the worst point of attack defensive team you've ever seen, like they need this. They need this from him. And he's so laterally quick, explosive, great hands. He's so good at guarding down as well, which they really need. He gave Luka like a decent bit of trouble. Sometimes Luka would just make shots over him, but the pressure, the movement skills, changing directions, which is huge for like decel guys like Luka, totally blows up this screen and forces Killian to turn the ball over to him. The lateral explosion suddenness is really impressive. And I think Andre Jackson's the least minutes guy on this video, but I definitely would expect that to change. The Bucks need his defense, his energy, his connective tissue to, make Giannis and Dame and Dame and Chris Middleton work a little bit better together. So I would imagine that Andre Jackson, excuse my coughing, would get a little bit more minutes in the near future. And the last guy, undrafted, which is absolutely a crime, Craig Porter Jr. of the Cavaliers, who is a ridiculous defensive playmaker. These instincts are special. He is a rare guard with like a high block rate. the craziest leaper, only like 6'2", but has a pretty decent wingspan, I think, and is an incredible vertical athlete. Absolutely bouncy as hell, which you will see. But his instincts, getting steals, deflections here, he's really good at just swatting off of 1 foot. Like, this is how you know someone's like a real, like, no bullshit athlete. Being able to run straight off of 1 foot, explode, and get a block without load time, just right up. That's elite stuff. Like, he's one of these like pesky inbound defenders too. You cannot throw a pass that is even kind of lazy anywhere near Craig Porter. He's going to pluck it. He has just like that instinct that a lot of these elite off-ball defenders, Robert Covington, prime in his prime, Jonathan Isaac, Jason Tatum and such, just they have this instinct. And Porter has it for sure. It's not often that you see guys block floaters as much as Craig Porter Jr. is able to do so. Love the change of direction here as well. He's a great closeout defender, which matters a lot in the NBA today. Changes directions really quickly and is able to recover and block that floater. So good getting up there. Always like aware of defending the paint. And we're going to see the quick change of direction again as like a closeout defender, which is a trait that I really value in an NBA where so much offense, especially for like bench players, is just closeout attacking off motion, but like leaves his feet and is still able to plant hard and get back in front of Skylar Mays to contest with great length. He's not the strongest guy, but he can really get up and make up for it with his vertical athleticism. The suddenness of his movements, and like they're explosive, obviously, but they are really sudden. As Porter immediately notices Christian Braun cutting, he starts up chasing him, changes directions there. As you can see, he stepped up for a second here to react initially, and then immediately changes directions inside and is able to make a great contest and force a miss out of Christian Braun really, really impressively. And he's definitely like the point of attack defense isn't perfect, as he's had some like getting cooked welcome to the NBA moments, but overall like the defense is really solid. I don't know if like he's a surefire like positive defender yet, but that is coming. And the playmaking, the instincts, the movement skills, all of those are too special. And he's a pretty solid offensive player too. Does not shoot threes. I think he's only shot 1 3 this year, which is kind of crazy. But he is a really crafty handler, pick and roll player, putting Jalen Pickett in jail, getting the and one little floater, really good using pace and timing. And he's pretty quick and explosive as well, as you might imagine. Really good here, being patient, setting up screens. This is not common. A lot of young guards. But Craig Porter is not a lot of young guards. He pulls this out. He's able to use the screen. He's patient. He gets to the rim. It's really good stuff. And he's not like an amazing offensive player or even a good one at this point, but there are real flashes of this point guard ability, some mid-range shot creation. And as like a bench point guard, Porter is a guy who, especially on this Cavs team, who like bench guard defense is really nice for them. With Garland and Mitchell are good defenders, but it's always good to have more depth behind your star initiators defensively. And Porter, I think, is going to stick around for quite a while in the NBA. He is going to be a legit impact player on defense. He is kind of like Derek White light almost, in that like really awesome rim protection defensive guard who can give you some like secondary creation on offense. So Craig Porter's awesome. But yeah, those are 3 rookies who I have really enjoyed watching this year. Who have your favorite rookies been? Let me know.